Hello student, myself Kuhu Sarkar. Today I am going to continue my series which named Let's Crack Gate 2023, where I am going to discuss all questions with deep analysis. So let's start. But before we start, if you did not watch my previous videos, please check it out. Okay, so let's start. Now our first question number 47. Match the following with their pseudonym. So it's a easy one. As you know that George Eliot's pseudonym was Mary Ann Evans. Sylvia Plath, Victoria Lucas, H. Munro, Saki, and Charlotte Bronte, Currer Bell. So our answer will be, let's see, 1D. Okay, so our answer will be answer number option number A. Now let's see the next question number 48. The literary mood parallels the flirting of authority and inversion of social hierarchies that in many cultures are permitted in a season of. It does so by introducing a mingling of voice from diverse social levels that are free to mock and subvert authority, to flirt social norms by rivalry, and to exhibit various ways of profaning what is ordinarily regarded as sacrosanct. So the above description explains the concept of, and our answer will be carnivalesque. Option number C, carnivalesque. So let's see all the options. Carnivalesque. What is carnivalesque? Carnivalesque, Russian theorist Mikhail Bakhtin studied Renaissance carnivals and used the ideas he found to explain much of what happens in contemporary society and literature. So Mikhail Bakhtin coined the term carnivalesque in his studies of Renaissance. Something is carnivalesque when Mikhail Bhakti not coined the term, but he used the term. Something is carnivalesque when the themes of the carnival twist, mutate, and invert standard themes of social makeup. When the standards of society are twisted, parodied, and inverted in a playful, crazy kind of way in stories. We can see often in the as carnivalesque. So what is carnivalesque? Carnivalesque is an event where many types of people are doing what they want to do. Many individuals do wearing masks, they dance, they sing, they doing the crazy things. And in novels also, as per Bakhtin, that some twisted, parodied, and inverted in a playful or crazy kind of stories were going on. So, in carnivalesque literature, as in a carnival, so as like carnival, uh, in literature also, we may see mixing and confrontations of high and low. So we see that mixing of confrontation of high and low culture, high and low people, upper class and lower class, spiritual, material, young and old, male and female, daily identities and festive masks, and seriousness with comical. So we see the mixture of all these things: higher culture, lower culture, upper class, lower class, young and old, male and female, identities and festives, wearing masks, like this. Carnivalesque is a literary mood that subverts and liberates the assumption of the dominant style of or atmosphere through humor and chaos. So these words are important. Humor and chaos. It's originated as carnival in Mikhail Bakhtin's Problem of Dostoevsky's Poetics. And so, where he originated the term carnival in Problems of Dostoevsky's Poetics, was further developed Rabelais. So he further developed the term in Rabelais and his world. For Bakhtin, carnival, the totality of popular festivities, rituals, and other carnival forms, is deeply rooted in the human psyche on both the collective and individual level. So here we see um, that the carnival, totally of popular festivities, ritual, and other carnival form, is deeply rooted in the human psyche on both the collective and individual level. Though historically complex and varied, it has over time worked out an entire language of symbolic, concretely sensuous forms, and which express a unified carnival sense of the world, permitting of all its forms. This language, Bakhtin argues, cannot be adequately verbalized to or translated into abstract concept, but it is amenable to the transposition of into the artistic language that resonates the essential qualities. It can, in other words, be transposed into the language of literature. So Bakhtin calls this transposition of carnivalization of literature, although he considers number of literary forms and individual writers. It is Francois Rabelais, the French Renaissance author of Gargantua and Pantagruel in the 19th or century, Rasi and Fyodor Dostoevsky. So he finds these features in their work, like Dostoevsky's works and Rabelais' work. So he find that term there. Now let's see the other term which was in the option, magic realism. So what is magic realism? Magic realism is a literary mood rather than defined genre, focuses on paradoxes, union of opposites. So it focuses on paradoxes and union of opposites. For example, framework may be conventionally realistic, but contrasting elements such as supernatural, dreams, myths, and fantasy invade the realism. So here we see that the framework was conventionally realistic, but contrasting elements such as supernatural, dreams, myths, fantasy are also there. Invade the realism differs from fantasy, so it differs from fantasy and sci-fi, because setting is a normal modern world with authentic description of humans. So it differs from sci-fi novels and fantasy novels because it settings are normal modern world with authentic description of human society and conflicts. So, magic realism, the definition, a genre where the narrative or story blends magic elements with reality. So, you can see that magic with realism. In magical realism, stories, the setting, world is realistic, even mundane, boring, and unexceptional, but subtle. Elements of magic and supernatural are intertwined and seen as normal. So here we see that in magical realism, stories, the setting and world, so setting or world is realistic, but even mundane. We can say that it's even boring and unexceptional. But the subtle elements of magic are supernatural and intertwined with normal. Often stories are told from perspective of people who lives in the world and experience different reality. So here we see that the people or the character experience a different reality from one another, we call objective. Magic realism can often be confused with science fiction or sci-fi or fantasy, but there is an important differences there. So let's see the other term, intertextuality. What is intertextuality? Intertextuality, the term coined by Julia Kristeva. We see that the shaping of text meaning by another text. So where we see that it takes meaning, the shaping of a text meaning by another text. Intertextual figure include allusion, quotation, Claude, plagiarism, translation, pastiche, or parody. So here we see that when we read a story, we always sometimes feel that we know the story because the plot line or something in the story we already know, or we already know same kind of story in another world. So this is called intertextuality, where we see that a quotation, plot, plagiarism, translation, pastiche, or parody is included. An example of intertextuality is a writer's borrowing and transformation of prior text. So it's always usual that a writer, it is normal that a writer always taking something from its prior text and incorporating as an aspect of it a new text. So this is called intertextuality. So let's say other things like what is intertextuality, as I told you before, that intertextuality is the way in which text refers to other media text, or that procedure producers assume audience will recognize. So audience will recognize that these kinds of plot um, I see in another text, like that. One of the pleasure that audience experience in the consumption of media text is the joy of recognition. So it is also a joy of recognition. One form of pleasure comes in recognizing the reference in one media to other media text. The process of referencing is called intertextuality. So now see that Julia Kristeva coined the term, introduced the term intertextuality. Kristeva argues that the concept of a text as a isolated entity which operates in a self-contained manner, and states that any text is a absorption or transformation of another. So she said that any text is the absorption and transformation of another. So here we can also take the reference of T.S. Eliot's traditional individual talent, where he says that every writer should um, know all the other writers text, and therefore he can write better. And Harold Bloom also said that the anxiety of influence. So it's more like this. So let's see what is heteroglossia? Heteroglossia, the term describes the coexistence and distinct varieties within a single language. So here, heteroglossia term also coined by Bakhtin, he says that the term heteroglossia describes the coexistence of distinct varieties within a single language. In Greek, hetero means different and glossia means language. The term translates the Russian varied speechedness, which was introduced by Russian literary theorist Mikhail Bakhtin in his paper Solvo Roman, published in English, Discourse in the Novel. So it is important that where he used the term in Discourse in the Novel essay. The essay was published in English, The Dialogic Imagination, 4 essays by Mikhail Bakhtin, translated by Mikhail Holquist and Carlyle Emerson. So let's see more about heteroglossia. What is heteroglossia? Heteroglossia is the presence in language of a variety point of view of the world. forms for conceptualizing the world in words, specific words, world views, each characterized by its own object, meaning, and value. So, what is heteroglossia? Heteroglossia is the presence in language of a variety points of view of the world. From forms for conceptualizing the world in words, specific worldviews, each characterized by its own object. For Bakhtin, this diversity of languages within a single language brings into question of basic assumption of the system-based linguistic. Every word uttered in specific time or place is a function of complex convergence of forces and conditions that are unique to the time and place. Heteroglossia is thus the base condition governing the operation of meaning in any utterance, and that which were always guarantees. So here we see that what is heteroglossia? Heteroglossia is the base condition governing the operation of meaning in any utterance. In primary context over text. Um, an attempt to conceptualize the reality of living discourse where there is always a tension between centralizing and decentralizing forces, between the imposition and systematic order, prior condition of freedom from it. Linguistic insofar it is an attempt to systematize language must always ignore and conceal its reality. So this is called heteroglossia. So let's see the next question, question number 49. Post-colonial perspective emerged from the colonial testimony of third world countries and discourse of minorities within the geopolitical divisions of east and west, north and south. They intervene in those ideological discourses of modernity that attempt to give hegemonic normality to the uneven development and differential, often disadvantaged histories of nations, races, and communities, people. So these above statements, the above commentary on the post-colonial perspective has been extracted from which book? And the options are, let's see the options. Edward Said, Orientalism, Homi Baba's Location of Culture, Leela Gandhi's Post-Colonial Theory, and Bill Ascorp's The Post-Colonial Studies Reader. So here the right answer will be Homi Baba's The Location of Culture. Okay. So let's see the next question, question number 50. So here we have to match the quotations with the writer. So first, happiness, as we see that happiness part the occasional episode in the general drama of pain. This is the famous quotation by Thomas Hardy in The Mayor of Casterbridge. Now let's see the other options. 4 will be B. So rap trailing, one second, okay, wrap trailing in thy hand, withered spray, and waiting for the spark from heaven to fall. This quotation by Matthew Arnold. Shakespeare one gets acquainted with without knowing how. It is part of Englishman's constitution. His thoughts and beauties are so spread about that one touches upon them everywhere. One intimate with him by instinct. This is a quotation by Jane Austen. And the last, it is the natural tie to be uh, die as to be born, and to little infant perhaps the one is as painful as other. This by Francis Bacon. So our answer will be option number B. So let's see the next question, question number 51. Which of the following is the most appropriate in the context of Francois de Eubon concept of ecofeminism? So let's see the options. It is revolution by women against men to protect nature. No, it is a philosophical idea to counter the operation of women by men as similar to oppression and destruction of nature by men. It will be the answer. In the term used to describe how human race could be saved by men initiating an ecological revolution. No, it is term used to describe the inverse between women and technology. No, so our answer will be option number B. It is the philosophical idea to counter the oppression of women by men as similar the oppression and destruction by destruction of nature by men. So let's see, this is Francois the ecofeminism. What is ecofeminism? And here you can see the all the point. um, Ecofeminism is emphasizes the relationship between women and nature. First, second, draws the intersections between man's dominion of nature and oppression of women. Third, nature and women are both controlled and dominated, exploited by the same cause, patriarchal hierarchy. So, this is here we see that nature and women are both controlled and dominated by uh, the same cause, patriarchal hierarchy. So this is called ecofeminism. And let's see the other options. Other options are the mainstream of women of the mistreatment of women is mirrored in the mistreatment of nature. So the mistreatment of women is mirrored in the mistreatment of nature, and women are uniquely at risk for from environment and destruction. So here we see that in ecofeminism, women are seen as nature. The how women are dominated by male and how women are destroyed by men. Here also our nature also destroyed by male or by the human beings. So here in ecofeminism, it makes a similarity between between women and nature. So let's see our last next question, question number 52. Which of the following book is considered as one of the sources behind T.S. Eliot's Wasteland? So our answer, our options are William James' Principle of Psychology, no. J.C. Weston's From Ritual to Romance, Franz Kafka's Metamorphosis, no. Sigmund Freud Interpretation of Dreams, no. And our answer will be J.C. Weston's From Ritual to Romance. So let's see, From Ritual to Romance. From Ritual to Romance is a 1920 book written by J.C. Weston. Weston's book is an examination of the roots of King Arthur's legends. Where we see that is an examination of the roots of King Arthur legends. It seeks to make connection between early pagan elements, the later Christian influences. The book's main focus is the Holy Grail. We always see in King Arthur's story the Holy Grail, the searching of Holy Grail, tradition and influence, particularly the Westland motive. The origin Weston's book are in George Fraser's seminal work on folklore, magic, religion, the Golden Bug, famous work, in the works of Jane Ellen Harrison. And it also we see that Westland, it is also mentioned in the Westland. So let's see our and there is some information that this book appears in Apocalypse Now, which was based in Conrad's the Conrad's book Apocalypse Now, and among those kept by the character Colonel Walter Cruz played Marlon Brando. So, and this book also appear in the Batman series. So let's see the next question. Question number 53. 1 minute. Then I forget the name. Apocalypse Now was based on the novel The Heart of Darkness by Conrad. I just forget the name. So, our next question, question number 53. The people who believe most of our greatness and welfare are proved by our being rich, and who most give their lives and thoughts of becoming rich, just the very people we call Philistines. So, what can be the inferred from the statement by Matthew Arnold? So the options are easy, like greatness of people lies in their being rich. No. Material prosperity in is not the true criterion of nation's achievement. Philistines are great people. No. Arnold thinks highly about himself. No. So the answer will be option number B. Material prosperity is not the true criterion of a nation's achievement. So let's see the next question, question number 54. Anagoresis. What is anagoresis? Anagoresis, as used by Aristotle in his theory of tragedy, stands for the hero's recognition of tragic flaw. The hero's ignorance about his tragic flaw. No. The hero's recognition of his adversary. No. The hero's rejection of tragic end. No. Answer will be option number A, the hero's recognition of his tragic flaw. Let's see the next question, question number 55. Which of the following thinkers does not belong to the schools of existentialism? So, we all know that Roland Barthes was not belongs from the school existentialism. He is a structuralist and deconstructionist. Other options are like Jean-Paul Sartre, Albert Camus, and Soren Kierkegaard are the famous name in existentialism. Let's see the next question. Okay, here is some information about what is existentialism. Existentialism is a philosophical and literary perspective that focus on the experience of an individual's person, the way or she understands the world. After World War II, some philosophers, writers saw the world as a indifferent place without a set of universal rules that applied to everyone. In light of the large number of casualties, the Holocaust, and the use of first atomic bomb, post-war writers, particularly societal rules and views, especially unreliable. So, what is existentialism? Existentialism is a philosophy and literary perspective that focus on the experience of an individual person, the way that he or she understands the world. And after the Second World War, when crisis begin and people try to think their existence, what is their existence, how they belong to the world, after the atomic bomb and Holocaust happening, so they try to rethink their existence in the world. So this is called existentialism. Existentialism is a movement in philosophy and literature that emphasizes the individual existence. So when there is a crisis of individual existence after the first world and second world, and then these kinds of movement begins, like individual existence, freedom and choice. So there as we see that in Albert Camus, the myth of Sisyphus, we see that we don't have any choice. So it is similar to absurd, and the writers who are belong to the existential group are also belong to the absurd group. It began in the mid of 19th century, but reached its peak in mid 20th century France. It is based on the view that humans define their own meaning in life. So human then tried, after the First World War and Second World War, human tried to search meaning in the life and take to move make rational decisions despite existing in an irrational universe. It focuses on the question of human existence, feeling that there is no purpose and or explanation at the core of existence. Here we see that this feel that there is no purpose or explanation at the core of existence. It holds that there is no God, and as Nietzsche said that there is no God and any transcendent force. Only way to counter this nothingness and hence to find the meaning in life is by embracing existence. So we are living. This is our existence. So this is called the existentialism. Now let's see the next question. Question number 56. Which of the following statements are closely associated with the term fetishism? So let's see the options. The options are: it is generally defined as an act of paying excessive attention and attributing mystic ability to an inanimate thing. Right. It is generally defined as an act of paying excessive attention or attributing mystical ability to an inanimate thing. Second, it is related to Western theories of aesthetics, economics, and psychology. Also, right, because it is related in the analytic analysis theory, Marxist theory, and also aesthetics. Then the next option, it is used in reference to religious object believed to have magical and spiritual powers. So this answer option will be also right, that it is used in reference to religious and objects believed to have magical or spiritual powers. It is generally used in describe Gothic expressionism. So no, the last option is wrong. So let's see about fetishism. What is fetishism? Fetishism is a term widely disseminated in literary and cultural studies. It carries a variety of generic meaning. Most of these derives to some degree of Marxist psychoanalytic discourse, where the term fetishism has technical significance. So the term used in Marxist, as Karl Marx said, commodity fetishism, and psychoanalytic theory as Sigmund Freud used it in his theory, psychoanalytic theory. So it is also used in Marxist and psychoanalytic discourses. Let's see the question number 57. Why does the thin gray strand floating up from the forgotten cigarette between my fingers? Why does it trouble me? Ah, you will understand. When I carried my mother's downstairs a few times only at the beginning of or soft foot melody, I should find for a reprimand to my gaiety a few long grey hairs on the breast of my coat, and one by one I watched them flutter up the dark chimney. So, which of the following can be considered as correct about the poem. It is written in the process grieving to the poet's mother. Yes, it is grieving to the poet's mother. It is an autobiographical poem, also right. It is a symbolic poem, right. It is a poem of youthful celebration. No, it can't be. After reading this poem, anybody can say that it's not a celebration of a youthful celebration. So it is the poem written by D.H. Lawrence. It is also a autobiographical um, poem. So let's see our next question, question number 58. Which is given example of rhetorical or figurative devices is or are correctly paired. So see, what is man that thou art mindful him? It is a paradox. No. Truth makes the greatest level. It is a personification. No, there is nothing to personify. Reading furnishes the mind only with material knowledge. It is thinking makes what we read ours. It is an example of antithesis. So option C will be right, and option D, it is a truth universally acknowledged that a single man in possession of a good fortune must be one of a wife. So this is a famous quotation from Pride and Prejudice, the first opening line of the novel, and this is an irony, is an example of irony. So option C and D will be right. So let's see next question, question number 59. As per distinction made by Toril Moyle, which was a famous feminist writer, regarding the terms feminist, female, and feminine, which of the following is or are correct? So, Toril Moy regarding the terms feminist, female, and feminine. So, which will be the right? The first is the matter of economic manualism. No. The second matter of psychology. No. The first is the political position. Yes. And the third will be the cultural defined characteristics. Right. So, let's see about the question. Key terms are by Toril Moy. She divide it in three terms. Feminist. What is feminist? A political position. So he defined feminist as political position. Female, a biology, matter of biology. So he defined female a matter of biology, and feminine, the term, is a set of culturally defined characteristics. So is a set of culturally defined characteristics. Feminine. Toril Moy in the Feminist Reader. She write it in the Feminist Reader. Let's see the next question. Question number 60. Which of the following author owned the book twice? So our answer options are Nadine Gordimer, J.G. Farrell, William Golding, Peter Curry, and our right answer will be J.G. Farrell and Peter Curry. So let's see. J.G. Farrell win the Booker Prize twice for first time for the novel known as Empire Trilogy, The Siege of Krishnapur. She wins won the Booker Prize for The Siege of Krishnapur, and second time she won. Sorry, why I say she? He won the Booker Prize twice. The lost of Booker Prize in 1970 in 2010. Travels was retrospectively awarded the Lost Man Booker Prize. So he win for first time for Siege of Kishnapur and second time for Travels. And Peter Curry, let's see about Peter Curry. Peter Curry also won the Nobel for twice. First in 1988 for Oscar and Lucinda, and second time for True History of Kelly Gang. I here try to read quickly so that the video will be shorter, and you can watch the whole video. So if I doing some mistakes, please forgive me. So Peter Curry won first Booker Prize in 1988 for Oscar and Lucinda, famous novel, and second time for the true history of the Kelly gang. So let's see the next question. Question number 61. Nothing feel normal to Asima. Ashima. It is not so much pain which she will survive, its consequence motherhood in a foreign land. Unmonitored by those she loves, she is terrified to raise a child in a country where she knows so little, where life seems so tentative and spare. So the in the above passage, which was taken from the namesake by Jhumpa Lahiri, the writer Asima tries to say that Asima and the absence of feel isolated in the new world, right? Should have been surrounded by her own people, right? Because she was pregnant, and when she gave birth her first child, she want her family to be with her. Is facing a cultural shock? Yes, because it is a diasporic novel, so she is facing cultural shock. It's able to adapt herself in alien culture? No, it can be right. So let's see, Jhumpa Lahiri's The Namesake, and the novel is a Pulitzer winning prize novel, and it's a beautiful novel, a diasporic writing, and we the novel also adapted in film where Irfan Khan and Tabu acted. So if you have time, please watch the movie because it's a beautiful movie also. So let's see, question number 62. Jean Baudrillard, a postmodern thinker, has suggested that a sign refers to other signs. He has given the four stages and phases to support his proposition. Which of the following not constitute a part of the stages? So which not? So see, the word not constitute the part of stages, so which is not? The signs disguise the fact that there is no corresponding reality underneath, right? The sign is always peripheral. The sign bears no relation to any reality. It's also right. The sign misrepresent and distort the reality behind it. So if you know the concept of simulacra and simulation, so you will be known that these options will be right. So but here the question one which is not. So the sign is always peripheral, will not be the condition. So option B will be right. Let's see our next question. So here is a quotation by Jean Baudrillard. What I am I don't know. What I am I don't know. I am a simulacrum of myself. So from this quotation you can know the concept of simulation and simulacra. Now let's see the question number 63. Which of the following applies the term paraphrases? So what is paraphrases? It is used in the connection of Marxist interpretation? No. It refers to an error in speech, memory, and physical action that occurs because of the interference of the unconscious subdued wish. Yes. So option B will be right. It the term is generally associated with junk? No. It is associated with Freud. And the original German word referring the term Pehlis tongue. This option will also be right. So let's see about the term paraphrases. What is paraphrases? Paraphrases is a slip of tongue, as Freud said that it is a slip of tongue or pen. Pen means when writer writes something or other inner thought to reveal the unconscious wishes or attitudes. So, Freud said that it is a slip of tongue or pain when the writer writes something or other writer thought to reveal the unconscious wish of or attitudes. So here is a funny example like, hello, I am new. I am your new predator. Predator means when someone hunting something. No, I mean senator. So this is a funny example. So let's see our next question. Question number 64. The epilogue to William Congreve's The Way of the World given some warnings like, other there are whose malice we pretend prevent, such who watch plays with scrupulous intent to make out who by characters are meant. These with false glosses feed their own ill natured nature and turn to libel what was meant a satire. So let's see the options. So there is an warning. So what is the warning? The warning is, critics should always be supportive of the author. No, critics should not look for portrait of real people in the play's character. Remember, the play is a social satire, right? And critics should avoid writing malicious reviews lest they are accused of libel. Critics should try to identify the real equivalent for each character. So our options will be, uh, critics should avoid writing malicious review, and critics should try to identify the real equivalent for each other. I think this D option is not in the answer. So let's see our next question. Question number and last question. Question number 65. Take my shirt off and go in there to do the puja. No thanks, not me. But you go right ahead. If that want what you want to do, give me the matchbox before you go, will you? I will be out in the courtyard where no one will mind it if I smoke. So, mm, let's see the option. The poem is written in the form of an ode. No, this is not an ode. The poem is skeptical in nature, right? This is skeptical in nature. The poet uses surreal astonishing images. No, the poet not using surreal astonishing images. The poem express rebellious attitude. Yes, the poem express rebellious attitude for not accepting the rituals or religion. So this is the last question of the full series, the question of 2022. And thank you for watching this till the end. Thank you very much. And if you like my videos and my explanation, please do like, share and comment. Thank you.